Chinu and Minu were sitting with grandma, as you can see, and they were getting bored. So they asked grandma to help them and tell some story. So this time they wanted a different story, maybe the story of her own. And so they asked her about the school. So grandma started talking about her school. That was many years ago, because grandma is so old now. She remembers about her school, but it is very small school, right? And it was very far. They had a very nice small building, as you have seen. So they asked, till which class has she studied? She tells that she has studied only up to class 5. Now Chinu and Minu were surprised that why is it so? Why hasn't she studied more after that? That is because in those times the girls were not allowed to study for a long, and they were married at an early age. But today girls should also be treated equally to boys, and they should be given equal opportunities. So Minu is saying that she will definitely study, she will finish her school, and definitely she will go to college for her further studies. Grandma asks her what does she want to become after studying. She explains that she wants to become the doctor so that she can take care of the whole village, of the people around her. That's very nice. Then when the grandmother asked Chinu about what he wanted to become, he tells that sometimes he wants to become a teacher so that he can teach everybody in the village and even in the neighboring village about how to read and how to write. But sometimes he wants to become a policeman and catch the bad people. So he is a very confused person, just like all of us are at this age. Maybe he is too small, that is why. So grandma says both are very good. He can become a teacher or a policeman. Both are very good. So now Chinu says, ask the grandma, was your school as far as our school? So grandma explains, your school is very near to our house. My school was very far away. That's really much surprising to know. So they asked, how far was it? It was on the other side of the river, and the grandma had to actually cross the river to go to her school. That's very strange. Sometimes as they had only one boat, that is only single boat, the villagers used only this single boat only to cross the river. But sometimes the villagers had to go away for the fishing purpose and there was no boat left. So she had to go back to her home. She didn't go to school those days. No, I don't think that was possible, because grandma loved to go to school. She never missed her school. And how did she go? She used to swim across the river to go to her school. And now kids also asking that didn't she get wet, and what about her books? So she explains that yes, definitely they used to get wet, but they used to keep their books in the polythene bags and keep them on their heads. So it was lot of fun, so because they used to swim across the river to reach to school. Sometimes even during winters, when they used to go school and they used to reach school, as you can see, they used to get completely wet and they used to shiver because it was winter. Similarly, you must have heard about a Prime Minister, our late Prime Minister, Sri Lal Bahadur Shastri, who also used to swim across the river to go to his school. So it is very much difficult to reach it was very much difficult already for him to reach to his school, but in spite of his difficulties, he used to go to school. Now, it is very important to go to school, like all of us know. It is very difficult, like everyone is telling about their own story. We come to know it is so difficult to go to school, but if you are not educated, people will fool you easily. And see, grandma has been educated, that is why she can read and write and she can understand everything very well. So that's really good of her, right? And we all agree to this. That very moment, their friend Pannu came along with his mother. So they all greeted each other, and the mother's name was Radha. So grandma asked her that you have come after so many days, why don't you go inside and meet Meenu's mother? It's been a long time. So the grandma asked Pannu to sit along with Meenu and Cheenu together. So grandma explains that she was talking about how she used to go to school, right? Her school was on the, now they were asking about to the Pannu that how do you go to school? Don't you have to swim like I used to swim? So Pannu explains, no, my school is also across the river, but we have the bridge made. So we just have to walk across the bridge to go to our school. We don't have to swim anymore. So grandma says, yes, she also remembers now that after some years, even she had the bridge made on to her on way to her school, and they used to cross the bridge. So Pannu asked, do you also have the bridge, the same one just like we have? We have an iron bridge in our village, but do you also have the same iron bridge? So grandma says, no, the bridge that she used to have in her days on her way to school was made up of bamboo, but the bridges these days are made up of iron. So we say that bridges are made up of different material. Some, like in Pannu's village, are made up of iron. Like in grandma's time, it was made up of bamboo. These days they are made up of concrete and bricks. So bridges can be made of different materials. Now Meenu is remembering about Rishikesh. Now where is Rishikesh? It is in Uttarakhand. So the Uttarakhand is a state in the northern part of India. And what is the capital of Uttarakhand? That is Dehradun, right? And we know another city of Uttarakhand, that is Rishikesh, as you can see in the mark also. So we have known about Rishikesh a lot. Why are we discussing Rishikesh? Because in Rishikesh you would be able to see a very beautiful hanging bridge, and under it the river Ganga flows. It is a very beautifully made bridge. So now they all are asking that how did they used to go to school? Now Meenu and Chinu just go to school by walking, right? But their friend Sahil stays a little far away from the school, so he comes on to the school, he comes on his bicycle to the school, right? So they are also discussing about their cousin who had come to their place just last week and was telling that he used to go to his school on camels. Imagine going to school on camels. Sounds fun, but why can't they use any other means of transport? That is because they live in Rajasthan, right? So Champak's village is in Rajasthan, and he takes the camel ride for school. It is too much fun, I agree, but why can't they use any other way? Because it is already scary when you sit on a camel and it starts shaking as it walks. So it is a bit difficult to sit. But they can't use the bullock carts. Why so? That is because in the desert, Rajasthan is completely covered with desert. It has sand all over, and if the bullock cart would go, it would not be able to move and it would sink into the sand. That is why they use the camels, because camels have very thin and long legs, right? And they are able to move easily. So different places have different modes of transport. Just like people who live in these hilly areas, the students of such hilly areas have to go to school by climbing these steep hills. Just imagine. So these two kids can use these horses, because horses have very strong and very fit health. That is why they are very much easily climbing over the steep hills, and the kids can easily just sit on them and go to the school. But do you know it is very costly to go to school on horses? So we know that even the children over there are very much healthy and fit. They climb the steep hills to go to the school. So actually they are also walking to go to their school. But still we come to know that all around the country children are going to school. It is very important to go to school. We have read about Dr. Abdul Kalam, that he had to swim across the river when he wanted to go to a school for writing an exam. He has worked very hard and he has become a great man. So children, I want you to understand, no matter how much difficulty you face in life, but you must always go to school to read and write. Only that way you will be able to become a great person, just like Abdul Kalam has become.